Very good evening. You have spent a long day today, so it's always a challenge. You are the last person to speak to an audience. Two problems. One is one is a bit tired mentally also, and whatever one tries to say, many might have said during the day. But what I'm going to communicate today primarily, and that is what Vikas requested me. And we have known each other for many years, and I must say, for the kind of initiative ET and Vikas has taken to organize this meeting and conference is not only very timely but very appropriate. And it's one of the very few initiatives one has seen in recent times. So what he requested me to share our research experience over last many years in drug discovery area, and we focused on antibiotics research, finding new drugs. We started this journey sometime maybe 25, 28 years ago, and one wonders why it took such a long time and why antibiotic program. Because I believe in competitiveness for anything you do in today's modern world. If you are going to play on a global basis, and India had two big disadvantages. One, we didn't have the ecosystem, and none of us had the kind of resources to spend on research billions of dollars. So that is where I felt that this competitive space is getting vacated by the big pharma, and that is what it proved over a period of time. So let me just begin. How do I do that? Yeah, okay. I just quote what you have. This research is to see what everybody else has seen, and to think that nobody else has thought. So when you say research, it means that it's there for everyone to see and look with fresh eyes, fresh mind, and that is how you make a beginning. So just to get you the kind of problem we have in antibiotic today, and that is what we thought, okay, Merck's will require new drugs. And since there were no new drugs coming for 30, 40 years, the level of multi-drug resistance has developed to very enormous potential. And Jim O'Neill, who was cabinet minister in UK, and he was also a chairman of Goldman Sachs, have said in a report which came many years back, if nothing happens, about 10 million people will die every year by the end of this half century. And I'm telling him today that that will not happen. The enormity of problem, if you would like to judge, it is like an iceberg. You see a very little of it very much down below it. The incidence of here I have compared with the COVID and multi-drug resistance mortality rate, death rate. In India, it is 4 times more than the COVID. In COVID, we lost about 5x people in 2 years. We are losing every year 10 lakh people because direct resistance problem or comorbidity problem, co-mortality problem along with the infection being like in cancer, immunosuppressed patient and so on and so forth. So ours is one of the very successful program, and the recent development is that we are the first company to file for one of the drug to US FDA, Zaynich. And we expect an approval in USA in next 4 to 6 months. So far we have 6 of our drugs. US FDA has given us a fast track because it is an unmet need, and a fast track means they approve product in 6 months' time. In India it takes about 2 years to get a product approved on a similar basis, just to get a sense of. And what is that, over the years our team has worked out a kind of a portfolio which covers today's about 80% plus problem of multi-drug resistance when all these products will be introduced over the years. And I must mention that our research team has done an outstanding job, and our drug discovery program in India, which is at Aurangabad, we had all our scientists of Indian origin and in India, and most of them have come directly from university with excellent academic and the background. This gets you a sense that we are the only company in the world today where we have 6 of our drugs, as I mentioned, fast track, and compared to all the other companies you will see, they hardly have 1 or 2 drugs. And these are the 6 molecules we were talking about. Collectively, that is what it does. So let me just spend a little more time on how we have achieved this success. So it took us a long time to build, because what we are dealing when you find a new drug, there are different disciplines like chemistry, microbiology, toxicology, pharmacokinetics, so and so forth. So there are about 12 to 15 disciplines. And you have to develop expertise in this discipline. And it took us about the first 10 years to slowly, gradually build this kind of discipline. And as we went on, we've gone building discipline. Now today we have a very good clinical team on a global basis and so on and so on. And we have to recognize that everything an organization cannot do. And therefore, over the years, we have built up a network of experts on a global basis, and also connected with large number of institutions. And it is that effort, and that is what was important. But most important, I would say, if you look back 25, 30 years back and you want to find a new drug which is a competitive, which is better than others have discovered, it looks literally an impossible process. But if you believe in something, if you believe in our people, and the fact that we have the people who have developed these products over the years with, the attitude has to be, whatever is the obstacle, we can do it. And I think that is the mindset we had, and I think all of us must have in life. That unless you believe you can do it, it's possible to do it. You have problems, you will have challenges, and you will find a way to overcome them. And these are the areas of competencies which I mentioned, about 10 or 15, which ones have developed over the years. The other aspect which I did mention is a network. And if you see, we had some of these leading people from various institutes like Harvard, Cleveland, various universities like Liverpool, Wisconsin, University of Maryland. All these scientists were part of, experts in different walks, areas of A. We have connected over the years. We had, I must tell you, many people ask me, as a company, many know we, as a Wockhardt, we went through a lot of financial challenges in between. And to pursue a goal, which is such a long-term goal, where you don't see visibility in short term, how do you manage? And how did I felt comfortable investing into this over such a long period of time. The only reason I was able to do that was this in the meetings with these worldwide experts. And they used to come. Our team is so good of Dr. Mahesh Patel, you heard him during the earlier time, and he shared what he did from more scientific point of view. But he was able to connect and develop this kind of network and use the global knowledge of expertise available and synthesize with what we were doing and what we were finding over a period of time. And the only way I started attending their 3-day scientific interaction, I would call it. Our guys will share and they will comment over last many years. Must have attended 6 or 8 of them sitting 3 days. And that is where one gets a feeling that we are on the right path. It's not just what one is saying. And you have to understand adequately the science on one hand. And my role is basically to understand science, support them, and see whether the opportunities are from a business and organization point of view. It is something which we are going to make a difference. So it's a fairly long shot actually, and that is what we have taken. So these are the people who have been involved with various places, and these are the institutions we have been in touch with. You could see about 15, 20, 25 institutions. So it's a networking. You find out where, and one more thing I must mention, that generally on this space, anti-infective space, there are 3 or 4 global conferences where thousands of scientists come. Our people and leadership attended literally all the scientific conference over the last 20-25 years. We encourage them to do. That is the only way you would know that your knowledge is current or you are doing something others have done that has no value to know. The second aspect what they have done, and I must tell you, my whole drug discovery team is nearly intact for 25 years. So, 2 or 3 reasons. One is the young people we had taken from university. Very exciting work culture where they can learn, they can contribute, they be part of the whole team. And interconnectivity, and they can talk to each other. When there are 15 disciplines to deal with it, and you work in silos, and when you have very large organization research, and you have thousands and thousands of people, they hardly talk to each other. And as I said, the information is there, knowledge is there. How do you interconnect this knowledge? And that is you find a new thing happening. And that is what our team over the years have been able to do, achieve, and they are very proud, because I can tell you one thing, the scientists who are there in any research organization, anywhere in the world, they spend their whole life, that's their profession, 30 years, 40 years of their lives. And 95% of them in our industry, and maybe true everywhere else, do not find a new drug. So you can imagine if this is your main expertise and the purpose in life, and you find number of drugs which is going to be there, but that is the motivation you cannot match. And if you have the right environment to contribute, and that is what has happened. Over the years, we have spent about $800 million for our drug discovery program. But I think equally important is, there was a report in a month back or so recently in Economist. It was a lead article, and there was a thing about drug discovery. And this is today, industry spends about $2.8 billion to discover a single drug. So from that point of view, what we have achieved, and that is what you will find in our space agency what you know that. A lot of other walks of India life. So if we believe that we can create something original, something innovative, something, spend effort research, we can do at a very, very low overall cost, provided we are willing to take that risk for the future. So what is our vision? Prime Minister mentioned Viksit Bharat by 2047, and he is very keen to promote research, innovation, earmark large funding. In recent budget also they put some biopharma, Shakti and large funding, 10,000. So it's a large funding. So our objective is that today, if we look at it in a global scenario, we are not only have got 6 products versus 1, but I can tell you we are the most successful research organization in antibiotic space anywhere in the world. I can also add, in this space, as an organization, we are the most knowledgeable. Now, if you have that equity with you or that kind of organization to you, and if we are committed to continue investing in antibiotic research, we are not planning to go anywhere else in research. And and we are dealing with large number of organizations. So we are in the process, I was saying, of building a global organization to develop the business on a worldwide basis. And many of people in the industry, people in the investment and financial community, and my own organization, and my children, they all were more comfortable of, say, in the US is the largest market today. If you go in US, that's your major breakthrough of licensing out, and you get. My response to all of them has been consistently same. Okay, we are looking at alternative of licensing, and we were looking at it honestly, but we need a certain perception of the value of the work we are doing. And I said, we are doing only if we believe the value inherently is there in the drug. Because of Zaynich, I can tell you one thing, in antibiotic there is a concept of a break-even point. The larger the break-even point, the more effective is the drug, and the less chances it will develop resistance. Since the discovery of penicillin, 98 years ago, about 300 antibiotics have been discovered, and they are there in the world today. And the break point, which the institute in US, which gives you, I forget the acronym of that institute, gives a break point. And it has given for all our gram-negative where our drug works, a break point of 64. Of 5 or 6 organisms in gram-negative, it is effective, it covers literally everything. There is no antibiotic in 98 years have received this break point for in any space ever. So when you are sitting on this level of innovation and change, secondly, we have, when you have a problem and you don't have a solution, like patient who have tried all antibiotics and nothing works. Because we have published about more than 200 publications for our scientific work. So all scientists, and they, not only scientists, the medical profession who are more academic, they know about that drug. So there is a concept of compassionate use, where a drug is not approved, but regulator allows you to use a drug in specific patient on the basis of recommendation of the doctor, patient and the hospital. agreeing to that. They take an untested, not fully tested drug. I would say untested, not fully tested, an approved drug. So that is how for every patient one has to go to drug controller in India or FDA in US. We have treated 70 patients and saved their 70 lives. Mostly in India and 3 of them in United States, because US FDA has also given such permission. And that is when nothing works, and these are only injectables and then they use only in a critical care situation. The other objective which we have, and if you can believe from where I am coming from and spending on antibiotics such a long period of time investing in research, I think the purpose which had driven me was much bigger than business. And how do we make this drug accessible to everyone in the world? So we have taken a position to make this drug accessible everywhere in the world and have the pricing point of drug availability based on the level of which their per capita income is in different parts of the world. So we will adjust the price accordingly so that it is equally accessible to everyone in the world. So that is our major objective where we are moving forward. This we can only do if we build our own business organization. There is no other way one can do this. And that is why we want to build an organization, because it's not one drug. It is a number of drugs. My customer is the same, my usage is the same. What we create initially, it is very difficult, but then you carry on. Same with the research program. I have got some whole infrastructure of research we built over many years to stay constantly. So you, in a competitive sense, if you look at the world, it's very difficult anyone to build an organization when Big Pharma has exited the space. And obviously, we believe our mission is this antibiotic resistance, which is so rampant and takes so many lives, should not be a significant problem over the next 1-2 decade. And we have drug for today's problem. We will create drugs for tomorrow's problem, as and when it occurs. So that's broadly our mission, to make it available and deal with this antibiotic resistance. I just conclude by some quote from Professor Khorakiwala, who were our Nobel laureate. The pursuit of science is not to be just pursuit of knowledge, but also the pursuit of a better and more human world. And what Gandhiji said more than a century ago is still valid. And somehow I believe he has been one of the greatest leaders not only India has produced, but the world has produced. And he believed so much in India. He worked all his life in India and got us an independence. And he said, and his life represents, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. We must get inspired by what he said and what he did and what he achieved. And I think that is the inspiration all of us carries. I think India will go a long way and we will achieve, all of us have a dream to be a very significant and important player in the world with a big difference. Thank you very much.
Anybody who would like to ask questions?
What is the secret of your energy at this age?
This is one question I never expected. I think there is no secret actually. There are few things, whatever it is, that maybe my DNA or my parents, grandparents have given the DNA. So that would be one of the very important contributors. But one thing is very simple. Okay, if you are as a person believe in yourself and what you do, and you respond with everybody in life, and you feel happy about it. In other words, you are transparent. In other words, you say what you feel like. Also over time, I think it makes a huge difference. Second thing is, if you believe in yourself and you can do something, and you don't worry too much of the failure. If something goes wrong, what happens? I think maybe that is the reason, I don't know. Yeah, any
other questions? Yeah, one more hand goes up. Yeah.
So sir, thank you so much for your insights, and I have a question that a lot of Indian companies are in the previous panel discussion also it was highlighted that many of the Indian companies are focusing on re-engineering or reverse engineering the molecules or the products which are gone off patent. How those companies and their R&D team change that mindset to the mindset of yours? So, yeah.
See, you call it reverse engineering. It's partly true. Partly, most of the Indian companies also are dealing with technologies. So, to find a drug, chemistry is there. So, there is innovation taking place. And we cannot discount if you come with a biosimilar or generic range of a product and succeed. So there is a lot of strength, and let us not undermine industry strength. Second, we have achieved 40% of prescription usage of products manufactured in India and United States. And this is not easy. Why would European couldn't do it? Why would Japanese couldn't do it? They were far advanced than others. So there is something else happening. It's not the low cost alone. From a risk factor, to go and succeed in another country is not easy. Europeans and the Japanese were far advanced, but they didn't dare because they thought it's very difficult to develop business in US. So I think these are the strength industry is having. The second aspect is finding a new drug. I don't think existing research organization can ever do it. It's a very different kind of skill sets one is looking of the work we used to do also. We had a large program like all other, and they're doing a very useful work, and that is a different one. This is a very different kind of organization we are doing. And therefore one is prepared to be there 10, 20, 30 years, but you have to understand any walk of life, there is world around you and there is a competition around you. You can only succeed in a competitive sense, you are better. Now, if you listen to your sources and limitation, like many companies along with us, about 6 or 8 companies started drug discovery program. Hardly anybody is there today.
Yeah.
Because they didn't, because I don't know what was their objective. Their objective, research as a business was the objective. Okay, you do and licensing out early stages, and it is very fair and eminent objective. There is nothing wrong in it. India can do it, a lot of Indian companies can still do it. But our objective was to go all the way and find a drug and develop a business out of research program. So that was the mindset difference, not issue of how you do your research.
Right. Sir, I'll also ask one.
Yeah.
So, sir, I mean, we know about what Dr. Hamid did with HIV. Last weekend on Sunday, we had DBG's biography launch. We know about the work that he did for TB patients. Your massive contribution for the AMR part. What do you think should be the other big priorities for pharma companies? We've been discussing about innovation, India for the world or India for India. What would be your advice?
I'm not in a position to advise the industry
The
or the
people-
leaders of the industry
Your
because
guidance.
they all have so much of knowledge, experience and success behind them. They know the world, all of them are operating in many parts of the world, so I'm no one to advise. But I could suggest the way to look at the future is not the way to look at the past. Not the way to look what we did and how we did. So look at it with the fresh eyes of the future. Now what is the future in our industry? The future in our industries are, biology is one area where most of the new research is taking place. And therefore we are not as good today in biologic as we are in chemistry space. That's why in generic we have succeeded. And China at that time was behind us and not looking at it. But today China is far ahead. They are competing literally with the US in biology research or similar area. But this is one area industry leaders should consider seriously. It's a little long term. Some are there, but this is one area one can look at it. The other area where everybody has is a starting point. Sometimes you say you don't do things, you compete existing, but what is new happening? A lot of new science is emerging in genomics, stem cell research, where even what you see is a little bit happening, but the next generation of research is going to take place, or new treatment is going to come after biologics, would be stem cells. So these are the way you be an early starter, you invest a little money over a long period of time, and then you build up a leadership.
Sure. Rika, your question? Yeah. You can ask.
Just wanted to understand that, what are your thoughts on how critical a role would technology or AI play in global as well as Indian pharma for the next big breakthrough?
I personally believe that AI from all point of view is something which will change the way we do business today. There are lots of low-hanging fruits in AI. Pharmaceutical is not a technology company. The technology company has to worry about the newer thing happening in AI. But what we need to do as an industry is there's so much AI available today, and they are called it low-hanging fruit. A little effort, little focus, you can change dramatically improve success and productivity. Coming to drug research, we deal with a lot of data and information over the years. So that is the immediate area one can focus both finding a new drug, doing clinical. There's so much data and information one dealing with it. If you use AI creatively and properly, you can reduce the time. And time is a great value in competitiveness. And if we don't do it, others will do it.
Yeah.
So it is just to remain competitive, we have to do it. We don't have a choice if we are going into a research field, because you have limited patent life, things are moving so rapidly. So that is one. Our scientists are not that sure today. Yeah, AI can find a new drug. Because that is the human mind and human ingenuity. And I don't think AI has reached, people do say, yeah, you won't need in factory, you can run factory without it. And yeah, but these are activity which is 95% of what we do. But that very highest intellectual element which is sitting in all of us, us scientists don't believe that can be easily replaced. Maybe may happen after 10, 20, 30 years, we don't know. But it will certainly help faster drug discovery, better drug discovery, finding something new, time. All this will happen because of data and information.
One last question.
Sir, we've been watching you for the last 33 years now, so many years, weathering so many storms. We've been watching you. And you are felicitated by none other than your Prime Minister, lots of cards, everybody's giving government and state. What really makes you so courageous to invest in this breakthrough antibiotics? So the world is still struggling to value them. And how do you retain this courage? How do you sustain this courage?
See, you don't have, the courage is one area which is inherent in. But one of the aspect which is important is that you break down elements of what you want to do in small bits. Is the next step. Then don't complicate your life. If I had thought, okay, in 25 years or 15 years, I'll have to get a new drug, how will I do it? You can't, if one thinks that way, you get overburdened with improbability or impossibility. But if you break down and you believe it is possible, then you move step by step. To everyone in the world, it looks a lot of courage. To me personally, it looks I can manage it.